Hello and welcome to Probability Theory, a video series where we want to talk about stochastic problems. The making of this new course is only possible because of very nice supporters on Steady and PayPal. Therefore, thank you very much and I hope you enjoy the videos. And for the start, I can tell you the goal of probability theory in general is to formalize things like randomness and chances to get a mathematical theory. So you see, the topics here could be very applied, but it's still mathematics. Also, I can tell you, there are a lot of different names this course could have alternatively. For example, we could call it stochastic, stochastic processes, or even statistics. However, because I want to cover a lot of different topics here, I stay with the very general probability theory. To get an idea what to expect here, I have some notions and topics in these boxes for you. For example, we will describe what a probability measure or a probability distribution really is, so measure theory comes in. Then, random variables and random processes are needed to describe a lot of random experiments. Also, I think it's very important to prove the central limit theorem and apply all our knowledge to statistical tests. Okay, I would say before diving into the whole theory, let's look at a simple example. So maybe not so surprising, just let's throw a normal 6-sided die. Then my question would be, what is the probability of getting an even number? And then you should see the mathematics comes immediately in when we want to answer that. Because we would say we have a set A that contains 3 elements, namely 2, 4 and 6. Maybe then you would say this is half the numbers of the die, therefore the probability should be 1/2. Or in a formula, P of A is 1/2. Okay, so this looks very nice and correct, but still we don't know the mathematical meaning of this P yet. And also we have the question, what does this number mean here when I throw the die? Because one throw will get us exactly one outcome. However, you already know, this probability, this number, comes in when we have a lot of throws. Because then you can count all the throws that got an even number as an outcome. And then we can divide that by the number of all the throws we had. And then our overall feeling is that this number should converge to the number 1/2. So converging in some limit process where we increase the number of throws. Hence one question here would be, does this work like a normal limit process we had in analysis, for example? And I can already tell you, we will answer this in a later video. Okay, I think that's good enough for a short introduction here, because I want to use the next few minutes to tell you that we will use the programming language R along the way. I really think that this will be very helpful to understand probabilities, because we can actually do some random experiments there. For this reason, please download and install RStudio. And then you should see this nice program here. In this you should see these 4 empty windows where we can use the bottom left one immediately. This is the R console where we can do immediately some basic calculations. So you see, our first output here is the number 5. Indeed, RStudio is not hard to use at all. For example, we can define variables and assign values to them by just using the equality sign. And then it's very nice, all the assigned values we can see here in the top right window. For defining a vector or a list, we use the command C. Then inside, separated by commas, we can put everything in. But first let me increase the size here. I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in, hit enter, and then you see we have defined the list I called die. Also you see the values are listed here. Indeed, we can immediately simulate a throw of the die. There we use the command sample, where I put in die and we just want one throw. Hitting enter gives us the outcome. Now, using the up arrow, we can do it again and we get 4. So you see, here we have immediately a random experiment. Obviously, in our course about probability theory, we will use that a lot. Of course, we will talk about a lot of other commands in R in other videos. The last thing I should tell you here now is that you can always use the question mark before a command to get the manual. So $sample gives you everything you need to know about this command sample. Therefore, I would say please play around with RStudio and then we can use the next video to start with probability measures. Okay, then please use the comments to ask any questions and then I hope I see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.